Hi, I would like to show you how to play the half-note triplet. Let's hear the sound. Now you hear two things. One thing going like this, and something above it going like. Okay, now how do we do this? In order to play half-note triplets, we'll go back to the eighth note triplets, like we did before. So we'll have this. Now, instead of stressing every third note that we do now, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, we're going to stress every fourth note, as if we played 16th notes. So it's going to sound like this. But this time, this is going to be played in triplets. Now, if you hear this alone, you're going to believe that this sounds like 16th notes, for example, like this. Okay? But it is not going to be 16th notes, it's going to be triplets. So it's going to be like this. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a. So what happens here? We play triplets in groups of 4. That's all we do. So 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1, 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1. What I did was play quarter notes and half note triplets, one after the other. That's it. Quarter note triplets and half note triplets have a very important relationship between them. One is half the other. So when you're doing 1, 2, 3, 4, which is half note triplets, quarter note triplets is like this. So in effect, half note triplets are quarter note triplets grouped in twos. So if you can do this, 1, 2, 3, 4, you still get half note triplets. I loaded Canopile in again. Let's edit the polyrhythms. So I go here, I press edit. Section A, let's use half note triplets, that 3/4 thing. Section B the same, section C the same. Done. That's all. Let me analyze this a bit. I'm going to be playing here the metronome. And above that, I'm going to be playing a figuration for you to understand how to derive this on the piano this time. It's exactly like before. When we do triplets, it's going to be like this. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a. Instead of doing that, I'm going to play a phrase of 4 notes. But it's always going to be 3 notes per metronome. This is not going to change. The phrase will change. The relative speed is not going to change. It's always going to be 3 to 1. 3 over here to 1 over there. 3 over 1 in groups of 4. So triplets in groups of 4. So instead of playing this, I'll do this. And by doing that, I can then remove the notes and get this. Now, The reason they call it 3/4 is because while my metronome is a 4, 2, 3, 4, I play 3 notes above that of equal duration each, so it's going to be like this. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. When we play quarter note triplets, we have 6/4, so it's going to be like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. As I said before, 3 and 6/4 are related. So I have. And what am I doing here? I'm playing 1, 2, 3, 4. The quarter notes. The quarter note triplets with a thumb. And the half note triplets with the little finger. So it's like this. And if you truly want to understand what's happening now, it's just triplets. Some of them are played in groups of 2, some of them are played in groups of 4. So we have all of them together now. Okay, let's start listening to the whole thing now. As you can see, there are 2 layers of rhythm here again. One is a pulse, which goes like this, by the metronome. And the music above that goes like this. Ta, 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 ta. Based on what we did before, we're going to use the tucket, 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 ta thing, which means we play triplets in groups of 4. Now, what does this create? This creates 12 notes inside a measure, which is, of course, 8th note triplets. Basically, all this groove is based on 8th note triplets. Only they're grouped in 4s. So, let's hear this without the metronome to understand what the effect is, and then let's put the metronome to understand what is going on. Without the metronome, this sounds like a 3/4 with 16th notes. It's going to sound like this. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 1 and a 3 and a 3 and a 1. That's the first thing you're going to hear. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 1. Let me do it on the piano so that it's clearer. What comes out when somebody hears this is this. What we count is this. So, let's do first the one, then the other. This is the true thing for us. The other thing is usually true for the listener. Okay? So this is exactly what we are trying to do. We're trying to show that it's another thing that what we actually count. I'm going to play the quarter notes with my little finger, the half note triplets with my thumb, and the subdivisions here, triplets in groups of 4, so that I put the whole thing together. We count this and we play this. So for us, it's a bit more complicated than what it is for the listener, okay? So it's... The listener only listens to this. But we have to have the whole thing in our heads when we play it. So let's listen to the song. Now I'm going to go with the groove. I'm not going to play this so that you see what happens. I'm going to go with the groove now. Okay? So I'm going to group these in fours. Let's play around with this a bit. Now, to make the transition, to play this over the normal groove, I did the following thing. I brought the bass and the drums to default, to normal, but I kept the piano playing half-note triplets. So this is going to sound like this. Now, which is important for me to analyze what is happening here. The groove is in 16th notes. 8th notes anyway, it's a 16th note feel. Okay, now, the half-note triplets require 8th note triplets, grouped in fours. So already here you have a clash of different subdivisions. On the other thing you have on the same thing you have this. So what you get is a 3/2 in the subdivisions. And this is one of the difficult points to master. You have to be able to go between 8th note triplets and regular 8th notes easily, if you're going to do this correctly. Now I'll take everything to default and use these ideas over the normal groove.